I'm actually a type of person that compartmentalizes. I'm not going to tell you I wasn't scared. I was scared, but I had the option of choosing how I would react to that situation. And I've always been told that your reaction to any situation is how people will remember you. And I never wanted people to remember me as the girl that got cancer. I wanted people to remember me as how did Heidi react to cancer. My daily activities were to get the kids off to school. We had horseback, we had lacrosse, football, baseball. It was a very active time in our life. And once cancer hit, it all just came to a halt. The kids were at school. I just went for a doctor's appointment. It was just like any other day, no big deal. And when I was in the ultrasound room with the tech, I could tell by her face something was wrong. So that then led to meeting with a surgeon, doing a biopsy, and then my diagnosis of stage 1 lobular cancer. My grandmother, she died of breast cancer, which had metastasized to her brain. So I knew immediately when I was talking with my surgeon what type of treatment I wanted. I knew immediately that I would do a double mastectomy. That was not a question at all. I was afraid. I was afraid for my children. I was afraid for my husband. I wanted to keep life as normal as possible. And that's when I really realized that I have to turn into my faith. When I left the doctor's office, my mother had actually hit one of the tech's cars, and I was still in the MRI machine, and my mother had to call the insurance person, she had to call my neighbors, she had to have children picked up and all of that. When I got home, my house was full of friends. People had food, people were holding a prayer vigil, and it just was so overwhelming of the support that everybody gives you. We are in this community that is amazing. Attitude matters 100%. It depends on if you are going to allow cancer to steal that joy from you, or if you are going to continue to have joy in your life. And I chose to continue to have joy in my life and approach it with 100% positive attitude. I met the most wonderful lady in the waiting room at my plastic surgeon, Dr. Steinmetz's office. Her name was Miss Sally, and she came from Fairfield. She was just having a bad day, and I had just had my implants. And Miss Sally was determined that she was going to have her expanders removed and just not pursue any additional plastic surgery. Well, I told the men, I said, okay, guys, I need you to walk out of the room for a second. And they did. It was just the 4 of us in the waiting room. And I said, Miss Sally, come here. And she said, yes. And I said, I want to show you. And I undid my top and I showed her my new implants. And I said, now, I want you to feel them, I want you to look at them, and I want you to see this is what you can have. And she said, okay, well, I'm gonna think about it. Well, I get a phone call probably, I don't know, 4 months later, and it was Miss Sally. And she said, I wanted you to know, I got my implants and I got everything else that goes with it. She said, I am the perkiest 70-year-old in my neighborhood and I love it. Thank you. And she was darling. She really was. I have this support, and not everybody has that support. People who I met that didn't have the financial means to stay places, and I found out that they were staying at the Hope Lodge when they were receiving their treatment. The Hope Lodge is a wonderful place where people are housed while they're having their treatments. They have transportation, they have food. Everybody needs to feel that they have someone in their corner and that somebody's praying for them and someone is rallying behind them. You definitely have a new normal, and you definitely look at life with a different lens. Sometimes you look out there and you go, when spring is popping, things are a lot greener than they were before, but you start looking at the little things that you may not have ever paid attention to, and then you get rid of a lot of the little things that were very important to you at one point. They're not as important anymore. You really focus on your health, You focus on your faith, you focus on your children, your family, and your friends. You just cannot imagine how much love there is for you. And I need everybody to know that wherever you are, you have your tribe, and they will find you and you will find them.